Really quick, you guys. Jai Opetaia versus Jack Massey. Um, Opetaia is a southpaw. Jack Massey is a righty. And the interesting thing for me in this matchup is the fact that Jai is the shorter fighter and Jack is the taller fighter. However, Jai likes to fight more from the outside, whereas Jack prefers the middle distance or close up. Now, normally you would kind of expect the person with the height advantage to want to stay on the outside and just sort of peck away at their shorter opponent with the jab and set him up for right hand, left hook. But in this particular case, Jai is very agile on his feet. Plus, he's also, for whatever reason, kind of adopted the Eastern European style of bouncing on the balls of his feet and using that sort of, it's not really a pawing jab, but it's a distracting jab that the Eastern Europeans just, all of them do it, where they sort of gesture with their jab hand, either sort of upward or straight out or a little bit lower, and bounce around on their feet and sort of just level change to try to, I think it's trying to mentally overload their opponent. But for whatever reason, Jai, even though he's from uh, Australia, New Zealand area, has adopted that style. I'm not sure if that was just part of what he was exposed to during his extensive amateur career, where he did, compete at the very elite level, even as a younger amateur fighter. But regardless, I would say in this case, Massey is sort of not quite as polished for sure as Opetaia is. And he favors that middle distance or in close where he gets to make it a real scrap. Now, I do feel that Opetaia has definitely the physical and technical advantage in this matchup, as well as a mental advantage. I mean, he showed us how mentally strong he is in that first matchup with Bradis, where Opetaia's jaw was fractured in two places. So I read an article where somebody asked a doctor, like, how often does it happen where, a boxer breaks their jaw in two places? And he's like, well, typically they can't really continue after they fracture it in one time, so it's not likely to happen simply because of that. But if you haven't seen that first matchup between Opetaia and Bradis, do check it out. It's an incredible fight. It's even more incredible when you know sort of retroactively or up front that Opetaia's jaw gets broken, I think, in the early rounds and then fractured for a second time in the later rounds. So clearly he's willing to push himself and suffer. He's determined to win at all costs type thing. So I feel in this particular matchup, Opetaia versus Massey, I think it's pretty clear cut that Opetaia comes away with the win, perhaps a KO, simply because I feel like Massey's just not as technically skilled. But the interesting thing, again, for this matchup is just the fact that the shorter man likes to fight on the more from the outside and explode on his way in, and the taller man likes to step to middle ground and then mix it up and make it a scrap on the inside. So that's what interests me about this matchup. Let's see how this plays out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.